Today in the wood yard, we got to find a home for these cookies. Here we go. So yesterday you saw that I had finished stacking all of these split pieces from the truckload that I got in, and all I have left to do for the cleanup now is to find a home for these logs that are hollow that I'm going to sell for either bear baiting or for Swedish candles, or what are they called, chimney fires. That's it. And obviously I've got these to cut yet, all these big ones from this pile here. I have to be cut, and I got to find a home for those, but I have to figure out what I'm going to do with these cookies, and I got some down here too. So I have been in the past putting all my cookies way to the back, just kind of throwing them in a pile, but it kind of just gets spread out because you really can't stack them. And I do sell them, by the way, for those of you that don't know. I do sell my cookies to several different people for either camping, and then I got a couple guys that actually heat their house with wood, and they like the cookies for throwing in there because they say they burn nice and hot and long. So I do sell those, and I came up with an idea. Walk down here to my regular cookie pile. You can see it, and I'll show you that it is kind of just a big spread out mess, and there's really no organization to it. We kind of just keep adding to it. And so here's the pile that I've had now it's getting pretty big, and I got it covered up from this winter. I covered it, just threw some tarp on it and got it covered. But what I'd like to do is to build some type of a container or a rack or a bin out of pallets that I can throw them in. So I think I'm still gonna leave that one there and just kind of condense it. I'm gonna pile it up a little bit better. And what I'm gonna do with my new cookie pile or bin is I'm gonna actually take these pallets right here, and I put down some odd sized ones here. These are some really long pallets here. And I'm gonna put sides on it and a back on it, and then a side over here, and then maybe even one in front, and then just leave one opening in the front here, and I can stack it up quite high then. But this would be a good spot for one of the racks, and then I'm going to do another one somewhere else so that I can kind of separate them from year to year, because I haven't sold all those back there yet, but I will. And these won't be dry enough. The freshest ones that I cut, they won't be dry enough to sell right away. So I'm going to build a rack of some sort today and then start filling that, because I got to get rid of them off the grass up here. That's what's happening. Here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these rounds here that are hollow. I'm going to take them, put them in an area in the back that I already laid a pallet down for. And yes, this would be easier if I had a tractor, and it's coming. You'll see soon. It's on its way. Get this off of here. And front here. Yeah, I'm gonna put these just kind of stacked up in the back so that I can keep them off the ground and have them in sets so they're ready to be sold. So we're gonna wheel these back. So here comes another load, and again, like I said, I'm just gonna stack them up so that I have them kind of in sets of 3, because that's kind of how I would like to sell them, is in sets of 3. I'm just gonna have them stood up on a pallet back here. Go get some more. Ooh, almost lost that one. Another set. And for those of you that are wondering, I think I'm going to charge like 25 bucks for one if somebody wants to buy one for a planter, or if they just want to buy just one. But I'd like to sell them in sets of 2 or 3. And if they buy 2, I would do it for $40. And if they would buy 3, I think I'm going to do like $50 to give them some incentive to buy, more. So 50 bucks for a set of 3, I think is a pretty good price, because I know a lot of people that sell the bear hollow logs for bear baiting. They sell them individually for $20 to $30 a piece. So I think that would be a good price. One guy that I talked to that does this says that he he cuts a triangle down into the log with his chainsaw. He cuts down 3 different directions all the way through. He bore cuts it so that it's a cut log, and he told me that he gets 25 bucks a piece for them, and he sells them for planters, which a lot of the people like, or he sells them for fires, just like I'm intending. This is really a solid one here, as far as feels like it's very green because it's very heavy. So to me, this would be a good one because it'll last longer, and that's one of the things that with these selling these as Swedish candles or for chimney fires, they do not have to be dry, because when you start it, you can feed it from the top with smaller pieces and get the fire going, and it'll last longer if it's wet. And I have heard of some people actually soaking them in water for days to get them wet so that they burn slower and last longer. So don't know, but that's what I've heard. So I'm gonna go get some more. Now the first sets that I have there's 4 sets, I guess you'd call it that, because this one really should go with this one here. It's all oak. This here is all maple, which I don't get nearly as much maple that's hollow. So to me, this is kind of more of a rare one, I guess. Let's see, that one better go on top. These are some very heavy ones here. I'm gonna put these on the bottom. So yeah, when people buy these, I plan on selling a real big one for the bottom, and then like a medium-sized one for the middle, and then a smaller one for the top. And that's the plan anyway. Or I'll sell matching sets. Like this actually goes together. That's the same part of the same tree there, or it's hollow. Okay, tastes like more. So these are the last 3 that I have that are already cut. I still have that whole pile of oak to cut over there, but this is the last of the stuff that's already been cut. So there it is. Hollow logs ready to be sold. So I just have these here in the pallets off the ground so they can kind of stay dry. I'm not going to cover them at all because it doesn't matter really if they get wet. And then I got that pile way over there that you can see that I am going to get cut, and then I'm going to move that also. I'm probably going to put those over here, I think, to the back once I get that stuff split. And then I just got to, get these cut and then moved. And right now I'm going to take, I'm not going to take these yet, but I'm going to go over to where I'm going to build my pallet container, crib, back in this corner over here. And I'm going to get that built and then start filling that with all the cookies and stuff that I've got laying around, so I can get it cleaned up and get it off the grass so that I can start mowing any day now, because the grass is growing pretty fast. It's starting to take off, and it's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s the next couple days, so the grass is really going to grow. So I'm going to go get my hammer and some nails. We're going to build this thing right now. That has got to be one of the ugliest things I've ever built in my life. It's not a work of art, but it is very solid, which is all that matters. So I just laid down two really long, odd size pallets. I think they're about 7 feet, 7 by 5 or 7 by 4, something like that, at the bottom. And then I just put some odd size ones. You know, there's some high, some low. I was gonna trim that off, but it doesn't matter. It's just gonna hold cookies and chunks and stuff. And then I put the brace pieces on, which made a world of difference. I wasn't gonna put one here, but without it, it was real wobbly, but it's super solid now. And then I put down these runners that you see through there, which are those frames that I get from a mattress company that they put around the mattresses. I just laid those down because that wood that's on the bottom on the actual pallet is very, very thin, flexible, not very strong stuff. So I just laid those down inside it. I go in the opposite direction. And then I put some around the inside here too. I just tacked those on. I nailed it all the way around to the bottom. I nailed it in all the corners, top, wherever I can make contact. And then again, I put the brace pieces just wherever I could get them to make it solid. So this whole cage is maybe, it's got to be close to 8 feet by 8 feet if I was to guess, something like that. And I'll go as high as I can with it. And I got my first load of cookies right here, so we're going to start throwing them in, cookies in chunks. And that's what it's for. So I left this open here so that obviously we can get, I'm going to try to stack this here, right in this area, so I make it kind of solid in here. And then once I clear this out, we'll be able to crawl underneath and then get back to the rest of them. But I had to put a brace piece here because it would have been too wobbly otherwise. So yeah, it's an ugly cage. Looks like a little pig pen, doesn't it? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fill it up with pig pen stuff. No, we're gonna put some cookies and chunks in there right now. Okay, so this is, I did this kind of a measurement. It's about 7 feet by 7 feet. So if I was to take 4 of the IBC totes and put them in a block, it'd be about that size. But this was all free wood. I didn't pay anything. Well, actually I did. I bought nails. I probably have maybe $1 worth of nails in here. That's it. So that's all it cost me, was some nails. And I think it took me maybe 20 minutes to tack it all together. That's it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the cookies like this, actual cookies, and I'm gonna stack these right in the entrance here up front so that I build kind of a wall, but I'm gonna throw everything else in the back. So we're just gonna toss them in here. Okay, there we go. So those are in. Now, my plan is, with the front here, is I'll either stack cookies like this right here, across here. We'll see what happens. I think if I do cookies all in a row here, and then maybe I can take these like half-size pieces, like that, and go across, just kind of build this up. Yeah, that'll probably work. Let's try to get them so there's, yeah, that'll work. That'll make it nice and solid. That way I can build a little wall right in front here that I can eventually, you know, dig out and crawl in, and I can get in there and get at the rest of them, because that way obviously I won't be able to reach. So if I can get in there as the pile, you know, shrinks whenever I sell it, and I can just chuck them, we can back a truck right up into here, and we can do that. So here we go. We're going to start filling it right now. So there it is. All the cookies from that single truckload have been thrown in here. It was 6 wheelbarrows full, if I counted right. So that looks like it's, if I had to stack this, it would probably be a little over a face cord or a third of a cord. So that's kind of what your shrinkage, or what your loss is when you cut a pile of logs from a truckload. I'd say that's probably pretty average. You might get a half of a full cord or face cord, somewhere right in there. And I'll be able to sell this, like I said, to people that are using it for campfires. I will sell it to guys that are heating their house, where they're heating their garage, things like that. I also think I may do an ad coming up this fall for cheap boiler wood and sell this as boiler wood, just as a full load in my trailer, and then explain that that particular amount, if I was to fill my trailer, equals about 3 face cords or a full cord, and normally that would be $330. So by doing it this way, I'd probably sell it for somewhere between $200 and $250, and I know I will sell it. I have in the past. So there's my crib. I got a new home for Cookie and Woody. There you go. There they are. They're watching. They're waiting, and now I'm going to start picking up some chunks and some cookies and odd pieces from some of the other cutting that I've done and start filling this up. So by looking at this, for as much as this took up, I think I will be able to probably get maybe like 7 or so truckloads of waste put into here, which is about half of what I would cut in a year normally. So I'll need like 2 of these a year is what I'll probably fill, which is about right. So I should be able to sell it, and there it is. It'll dry really good here. It's a nice solid structure. It's ugly, but it'll work. So I think that is it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. Now I know how much space I need and how it's going to work. Please hit the buttons. You know what to do. Hit the like, to subscribe, all those good things. And tomorrow I will be back here. That's me. And you will be back here. That's you. In the wood yard. And we will have fun again. Between now and then, get out in the woods, get cutting. Good night, Irene.